as we wrap up the regular season matchups against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Referee again is Juan Colazo. Takes a look around the pitch. A little flash of lightning, but we'll go underway here on the near side with Hollingsworth stepping in front, turning away, clearing it. There's James, quickly to Volesky. Hard tackle there by Hunt. And the Riverhounds come out of their own half. Aguilar, a 25-year-old. Now cutting inside. Malotto. Here's the team captain, former Rhino Danny Earls, to Hollingsworth. Marked there by Garzi. Back to Earls. Plays it on the ground, chip forward into space. The chip shot off the hands of Gomez and just wide. Alejandro Aguilar with an early opportunity gets in behind the Rhinos' defense.
Yes, that was a great opportunity for the Riverhounds to capitalize on. I mean, Aguilar make a great run, a great chip shot. The keeper came out and basically get a tipped on that ball to deflect it out of bounds.
A clever ball from Kevin Kerr, also chipping it up and over the Rhinos' defense. In swinging service coming up. Danny Earls whips it into the box. The header, Gomez there again. He has been called upon early tonight in the first 2 minutes of play.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great header. Again, Gomez was covering that ball up pretty well.
It was Willie Hunt, the center back, with the powerful header right at Gomez off the corner kick. It's Pittsburgh early on, coming off the rain delay. Applying the early pressure, Farrell. Picked up by Earls. Hard tackle, and they're going to call dangerous play on Danny Earls.
Yeah, Danny Earls big tackle. I mean, it wasn't as bad as it seems, just because he came to the stud coming at the player. And the referee has no choice but to call a foul on that one.
There's a look at it. Earls, who played with Rochester, came here in 2008. Steve Guppy, instrumental in bringing Danny here. And like I said, yeah, those studs did come up. And heavy rains really coming down now in the 3rd minute. This one's picked up by Aguilar. Spinning away, looking for help. Gets away from James, and the shoulder tug will be a foul called against the Rhinos. Ryan James.
I mean, the conditions again tonight, Joe. I mean, the ball, because it's a turf field also, the ball is going to be skipping and the ball is going to be running a little bit faster than usual because the turf is wet. So again, the players got to be aware of that and adjust according to what is going on in the field.
A brand new surface here at Rhino Stadium, just put in before the start of the season, and this is really the first chance it's had to absorb a heavy downpour during a match. So we'll see how it holds up here tonight. Already 40 minutes or so delayed. As the Rhinos get a quick restart onto the far side, it's Tergou, and loses his footing.
I mean, normally that was a great restart, a great outlet pass to Tergou. But the ball, as soon as the ball hit that turf, it's running. So I mean, you got to be aware of that. Got to be aware of that bounce. I mean, to counteract that. I mean, a lot of the balls coming to you. Don't let it bounce. You know, catch it right on that bounce and control right before it hit that turf, if you can.
It is going to be a tricky night, and you wonder how much impact this weather is going to have, as far as the keepers are concerned too, with holding on to the ball, not giving it up for an easy rebound.
Yes, I mean, the ball coming over in the air, we're going to be not pretty easy because the ball is going to be wet, but because they have the gloves, so you're going to be minimize some of the factor. But I mean, the ball's coming on the ground, skipping on the ground. Those are going to be the dangerous ones for the keepers.
And there's a look at the field level camera. It is coming down in buckets right now. Looking at the forecast, the radar looks like the next hour or so could be just like this. As James settles it on the near side, chips it forward, looking for Volesky. Hunt pumps it off of Dos Santos. And it'll be throwing coming up here for Hollingsworth, who's on loan from the Columbus Crew. He's 22 years old. His 17th appearance of the season. Here's Aguilar. He has been a handful early on, the Costa Rican. Okai. On the near side for Hollingsworth. Herzog looking for a goal in his 5th straight game, spins away from pressure, and he'll go all the way to the far side. Michael Green will pick it up. Intercepted by Camden. Is it back to Apostolopoulos? Canardo Forbes, first time we've called his name tonight. He usually sees a lot of the ball for the Rhinos.
Yes, I mean, basically the players usually go through him against first time he's actually touching the ball for the night. And again, maybe it was I talked about earlier is that mental aspect of the game now where he has to get back and put himself back mentally to play this game. I mean, I think he needs to touch the ball a few more times for him to really get back himself into this game.
Cheeky little back heel. James was aware and ready for it. Here's the high-scoring defender, Joe Farrell. Now Forbes getting some touches. Looking to get involved here. Rain letting up just a little bit. As the Rhinos have some possession on the far side. Camden turning on the Jets. Gets the cross into the box. Garzi off the chest. Fires one and punched up and over the bar by Stefan. Good shot, good save.
Good shot, good save. Great ball from Camden coming over. Guys, he settled it. He looked. He's trying to keep where the keeper is, and he just a little unfortunate that he didn't get that one to keep down. And you see to settle it and hit it. Pretty good shot, pretty good save by the keeper.
Stefan on loan from the Crew. Only his 2nd appearance of the season for Dave Brandt's Riverhounds. Corner kick number 1 for the Rhinos. On the far side, it's Canardo Forbes swerving into the box. And powerful header by Maloto. Camden starts the attack once again. Poor ball picked up by Herzog. Fast break here now for Kerr and the Riverhounds. 3-on-1 if they hurry. Hollingsworth back in front. Behind Kerr. Herzog's shot is blocked by Farrell. And the rain picks up once again. Long ball into space looking for Valesky. Stefan. It's a poke on it. Picked up by Garzi. Dos Santos has to hold it up. Valesky was in an offside position. Here's James with some space on the near side. Deep chip into the box. Tergou's header and a goal! Sofian Tergou opens up his Rhinos scoring account in the 8th minute.
That was a great goal by Tergou. I mean, James had a lot of space on the right outside. He looked up. He could even take a couple more steps with that ball before he even crossed it in. But he saw Tergou coming in on the weak side, and he just put it over, and Tergou make no mistake to punish the Riverhounds in that one.
Well taken by Sofian Tergou, his first as a Rhino. And for Ryan James, he gets his first assist to go along with 1 goal. In the 8th minute, the Rhinos have a 1-0 lead over the Riverhounds. Good step by Camden. Knocked away but picked up by Willie Hunt. There's Kerr.
Rhinos goal.
Aguilar.
His first as a Rhino,
spinning through the center circle. Back to Danny Earls.
Sofian Tergou. With the assist
Earls.
7, Ryan James.
Okay.
That's Tergou from James.
Hollingsworth.
In the 8th minute.
Poked away to Dos Santos. There's Forbes. Good ball forward. Here's Garzi now on the near side. With time and space. Slides it through for Dos Santos. Quickly cuts it back to his left. Back through the 6. Tergou again! And a kick save from Stefan.
It was a great save by the keeper, Stefan. I mean, that was a great ball. I mean, it seems like on the right side of the field, the Rhinos have a lot of space. I mean, was James the first one? Now was Gazi the second one that have the space to make those plays to go into the box to create those chances that Tergou's having coming on the weak side.
And that weak side space is just gaping for Tergou once again. 10th minute, 2nd corner kick for the Rhinos. Here's Forbes, a high delivery into the box. Garzi settles, cuts it, still with it, Garzi. Shot blocked there by Willie Hunt. And off of Mike Garzi, throwing coming up here for the Riverhounds. And be sure to get into the game through the USL's social media channels. Follow the USL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for news, live game updates, and video highlights from across the league.
Located at 400 Andrews Street with hundreds of free weights and exercise stations, indoor track.
Here in the 11th minute, the Rhinos have a 1-0 lead. It's Tergou with his first goal as a Rhino back in minute number 8. Now Earls patrolling the middle of the field for Pittsburgh. You've seen him for so many years playing on the left flank. Now the veteran at the ripe old age of 27. Playing in the middle. To be 27 again, my friend.
I tell you, man, I tell you. 27 with those 27 lungs and legs. I wish.
All right. Earls, a very smooth transition into the middle of the park. And they're going to call, I believe, a handball or maybe a dangerous play on Ryan James. Kerr will have the restart. The 27-year-old with 4 goals and 2 assists. Started off with Pittsburgh back in 2013. Swerving ball, knocked away by James. Now Earls into the mix. That goes off the Rhinos, and the Riverhounds will pick up their second corner kick. This one coming from the near side. It's Kerr over to take it. Getting some help and a look at it with Maloto. Bodies in the box. There's the whipped ball off the head of Joe Farrell, or Voleski, I'm sorry. And third corner kick coming up now for the Riverhounds. 12th minute, Rochester leads at 1-0. Tergou with the goal. Kerr will shoo Maloto away and put one into the mixer with this wet, slick conditions we have tonight. Good ball into the box. Good punch away by Gomez. To the far side, it's Okai. Pumps one back in. Top of the 18, Dos Santos. Still Dos Santos. Voleski on the run. Goes short instead to Garzi, and there's a player down in the box. It's Willie Hunt, the 28-year-old, holding the top of his head. And while we have a break, don't forget that Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. There's Hunt coming off with the help of the trainer. Here's a good look at it.
Fans, don't forget Rhinos' new era hats are in. Stop down to the Rhinos merchandise kiosk to pick up yours.
Looks like both players just butt heads going up for that head ball from the corner. Not sure if Hunt is bleeding or not, but I guess the trainer is actually taking a look at him now. And
he took a pretty severe knock to the head from James, who was clearly going for the ball. Hunt, quick little check of his awareness. He gets the go-ahead to return. Voleski heads it down to Dos Santos. The goal scorer, Tergou. Fall. Leaves it for Forbes. Hunt immediately gets on the pitch, and it's a head ball on his first touch. Maloto. Okay.
Guess his head is doing okay.
Yeah. Green. Little tug there from Tergou, and will be a restart coming up for the Riverhounds, who away from home are 1-6-3. Back on home turf, 3-8-1 for Dave Brandt, who spent 7 years coaching at the U.S. Naval Academy. Also won 6 NCAA Division III titles at that powerhouse, Messiah University. There's Kerr. His cross is blocked. Forbes. Voleski looking to lay it off. Finds Garzi. Just to go back to James. There's Hunt again in the air, off the head. Nicely brought down by Canardo Forbes. Outside to Camden. 15th minute. Rhinos have a 1-0 lead. Camden battling with Maloto. Forbes knocks it down the far sideline. No one there for the Rhinos. Sergio Campbell will play it back to Stefan. Now Okai. Green. There's Earls, opens up his hips, comes on through the center circle now to the near side for Hollingsworth, and James will get a good step on it. It will go off of him, and a throw-in coming up for the visitors. Pittsburgh will be in action on Wednesday against Wilmington. The Rhinos begin a 3-game road trip, and a tough one against Cincinnati on Wednesday to kick it all off. Heavy touch by Earls, taken away by Fall, and the Rhinos pushing forward. Fall cutting inside. Sends it forward for Volesky. 2 on Christian Volesky right now. And a slide from Kerr will knock it out of play. Quick throw in taken. It's James. Far side now, Camden. Pastalopoulos. There's Fall. Now James had the assist on the 8th-minute goal from Tergou. Plays it back to Farrell. Garza can turn with some time. Good touch outside for Dos Santos. Low cross. Hunt hustles and doesn't give up the corner kick, but a deep throw-in coming up here for the Rhinos, who have the 1-0 lead in minute number 17.
Yeah, it looked like the Rhinos now is settling down. The rain has stopped, and now the Rhinos seems to be settling down on time to get into their game of mode of play. You know, knocking the ball around, finding the player's feet, and switching it and playing spaces and angles.
Garza finds the space to get it to Volesky. Gets a shot away, but not too much power and too much trouble there for Stefan.
Fans, we'd like to take this time to welcome both the RIT.
He'll take his time in the 18th minute. Stefan played at the University of Maryland. Actually began his pro career with FC Freiburg in the Bundesliga 2.
With the Boy Scouts tonight in a pregame clinic. Thanks for coming to the match tonight.
Forward now looking for Herzog. Farrell gets the head on it.
That was a great recovery by Farrell there. He got a little bounce off of that play before, and he recovered and came right back and win that ball.
A little space there for Moloto. Just couldn't settle the ball, and the Rhinos come away with it. Tergou. Volesky, Dos Santos, and Stefan gets there first. Both players looking to make a run onto that one.
Yes, Stefan, the goalkeeper, is playing very high out of his area, and that's why he was able to come on that ball and clear it very quickly.
There's Michael Green to Danny Earls. Intercepted by Fall, gets it to Dos Santos. Now it's Camden. Bernardo Forbes. Ryan James. Tried to thread the needle there, but a little poke away by Hollingsworth.
Yeah, he did. He tried. He almost made it through. And again, here's what I'm talking about. There's so much space on the right side of the field where James and Ghazi is working. I mean, every ball that comes over, they'll have that space to do whatever they want to do on the side of the field.
Oh, good bit of work from Forbes. They're going to call Earls for the contact on that one against Canardo, and Danny can't believe it.
I mean, yeah, he's protesting the play, but I mean, he never played the ball. He played the man, and that's why the referee's calling it. I mean, that was good footwork by Forbes to get through 2 guys and almost made a great play out of it.
And here's a look at that nifty footwork in a real tight space for Canardo.
I mean, here he goes, beat one and gets another one. Out there again, he never played the ball. He played the man, and that's why the ref called it.
2 in the wall for the Riverhounds. Camden swerves one deep into the 6. Stefan off his line to scoop it out of the air. For Pittsburgh, again, we talked about their new role. It'll be spoiler for the rest of the way, as they've got some new players coming in. Getting the PDL's MVP and Golden Boot winner, Siobhan Walsh, who was signed. waiting for visa clearance. Should be ready to go by the beginning of September. Spoke with Dave Brandt before the game, and he says he could be a gem of a find coming over from the PDL side, Ocean City Nor'easters, where he had 14 goals. Here's Okai. Kerr gets it back from Herzog. Out of the near side now for Hollingsworth. Takes a touch around James. Low cross, deflected. Back to the top of the 18, and it's wall fall. And the Rhinos. Tergou. Dos Santos knocking Green out of the way. For Dvoleski in front, the shot! Couldn't get a good piece of it.
That was such a great cross. I mean, again, Dos Santos is doing the work. That the same thing he did a few games back, where he coming back in the midfield, picking up the ball and making the plays to find his counterpart up front, Valeski. What a great cross into the middle, but Valeski just barely missed that ball.
Just inches away from his 9th of the season. Valeski picked up a goal in the last game against Louisville. Scored in the 13th minute in a rematch of the Eastern Conference Final. Louisville City got the equalizer in the 85th minute. 1-1 was the final last week. Now on to the Riverhounds, tonight's opponent. Outside from Michael Green, a 26-year-old. Played defense and forward last season for Pittsburgh. Now Earls, Hollingsworth, Kerr, a trio of Rhino defenders surrounding him. Loose ball picked up by Hollingsworth, played behind Aguilar, who started off gangbusters. He was very dangerous early on, the Costa Rican international.
Yeah, yes.
And he's kind of settled down just a bit.
Yeah, I think the Rhinos kind of is playing him a little bit differently now than they did in the first couple of minutes of the game. So now they're putting a little bit more pressure on him, denying him the ball. When he moves into spaces, they're cutting off those spaces and denying him to receive the ball.
Only his 6th appearance with the Riverhounds. Alejandro Aguilar debuted for the Costa Rican national team back in 2013 in a friendly against Canada. Good win in the air, but still picked up by the Rhinos and outside to Camden. 23rd minute, just tuning in. Rochester with a 1-0 lead. Sofian Tergou's header with the assist to Ryan James. Campbell to Earls. And referee and his assistant will have a discussion here about who touched it last, and neither one is sure. You know, speaking of officiating decisions, the USL now at the forefront of a new era in officiating as they become the first one of the first pro leagues to use the video assistants. That project was put in effect last night in the Red Bulls Louisville game. Referee determined a foul was committed inside the penalty area after using the video assistant referee system.
I mean,
what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a long time coming. I think that the league needed something like that because, I mean, there's in this game there's so much things happening at one time, and sometimes the angle that the referee is in, and he can see, well, that's not a foul, that's not a PK. But I mean, if you have the video system to you know, as an assistant as it is, and a backup for him, to give him a better view, a better decision, to say, okay, this is what it is, and this is what we're seeing, and this is the right call that I should have made.
The video assistant referee will focus on 4 game-changing situations: goals, penalty decisions, direct red card incidents, and mistaken identity. So the USL combining with Pro, the professional referee organization, and Major League Soccer to test it here in the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's a great move on the league to implement something like that. And I mean, there's one of the calls that they're going to be making is the mistaken identity. I kind of like that one also. I mean, because I mean, I've known and seen a lot of guys who get a yellow card or a red card that really not involved in the infraction, and they end up getting a penalized for something that it's not really them, but the referee didn't. From the referee angle, he's seen that person, but it's not really that person who made that infraction.
And this is really, taking a hold worldwide. Australia's got some opportunities with this. Leagues in Germany, Brazil, and a couple of competitions in Holland, Portugal also stepping into that video referee system. Third corner kick now on the near side. It's Canardo Forbes. Through the 6 and onto the far side. Picked up by Volesky. All the way back to Camden. 26th minute, the Rhinos with a 1-0 lead. Looking for their third straight win against Pittsburgh. 1-0 and 2-1 earlier in the year for Rochester, who all time have dominated this matchup with the Riverhounds. 22 wins, 6 losses, and 4 ties. Major advantage for the Rhinos. Here's Volesky. Tergou. Back to Volesky. Fires one low and hard. It's right at Stefan.
Yeah, it's a great 1-2 combination by both Volesky and Tergou. And Volesky it's a pretty good shot there on goal, but it was right to the keeper.
Stefan has been busy. 4 saves in the first 27 minutes. They've been difficult ones. Nothing very easy coming his way early on.
Yeah, he was. As a matter of fact, as I say, he's been busy. He's been making some great saves on his part in the goal. He has done his part so far to keep the Riverhounds in this game.
Pittsburgh looking for their first back-to-back victories this season. After Saturday's home win against Bethlehem, 2-1. Herzog Kerr with the goals. Pittsburgh's first home win since June 18th. There's Kerr out to Michael Green. Malotto. Kerr. Big center back, Apostolopoulos stepping in to win it. Gets it to James. Gets caught on the turf and makes a safe play to clear it out of bounds and regroup.
Yeah, it's a safe play. He get caught in seemed like he get caught in between two minds. If should he go back or go forward with the ball, and he just made a heads-up play just to put it out of bounds.
There's Okai to Sergio Campbell, a 24-year-old making his 19th appearance of the season. Pressured, he has to go outside to Green. Now Hunt. Hunt, the veteran, has been around. Played with Tampa, Atlanta, and the NASL. After finding a home here in Pittsburgh, or with Pittsburgh. Arnold takes a quick look around. Gets it to Malotto. Working on the near side for Kerr. And last time Pittsburgh was here on June 25th, Dave Brandt, the head coach, just watching his mannerisms on the sideline, he's willing them to win. He's so animated.
Yeah, he is. He hasn't sit down. He's a coach. It seems like he doesn't sit. He's up all the time. He's directing, he's shouting, he's sending out instructions. As you said, he's trying to will them to win and to play better.
Just the body movements and the energy that he brings. As here's a chance for Malotto and a good recovery from Tergou. There's a look at Dave Brandt. This one is cleared down the middle, picked up by the Riverhounds. And knocked away by Forbes. Onto the near side. Throwing for the Riverhounds. Keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about the USL. Rhinos win it back. It's Garzi to Valesky. Fall knocks it off of Earls. And dangerous play against Wallfall. Be a restart for Pittsburgh. Quickly taken to Earls. Outside to Green. Clouds breaking up, sun peeking through now. As we're in the 31st minute. Game that was delayed about 40 minutes. And underway finally here at Rhino Stadium. Well, we see it so many times, Daryl. The team gets that perimeter possession, but just the penetration so difficult to come against Rochester.
Yeah, it definitely is difficult to come against Rochester. I mean, they played a very stingy defense.
Walesky's in the box. Puts it through. Nobody on the end of it. A wide open goal just sitting there. Dos Santos just couldn't get to that space in time.
Yeah, Dos Santos was coming strong, but he came to this area that Valesky wasn't looking for. Valesky was looking for that open space to put the ball into somebody to run onto. And yeah, and then as I was saying earlier, I mean, the Rhinos they're playing a stingy defense. I mean, they're tight, so a lot of teams can't penetrate. They have to all they're doing is putting the ball from side to side, but they're not really going forward. They're going from one side of the field to the next. And you know, I guess you're looking for those openings, but if you don't try, you're not gonna ever get through there. And so, but on the same token, you got to give Rhinos credit for playing such a defense.
Absolutely great shape. And here's another example of winning it, but Farrell gives it up to Earls. They'll try to force one. Camden off his leg, picked up by Gomez, making his 11th appearance of the season. 8 goals against, a 0.80 goals against average.
Visit GoSolarRochester.com to learn how you
for the 23-year-old.
Whether you own, rent, SED has a solar
I'll
energy
put it down and
solution
take
for
a look
you.
in the 32nd minute. Down the middle of the field, off the head of Campbell, and back to Steffen.
And as we mentioned earlier too, we haven't seen Forbes in a lot of the plays, and
No.
I'm just looking at see the position and the formation that they're playing. They have it appears to me that he's playing more of a defensive midfield instead of an attacking midfield. Look like Fall is actually playing the attacking midfielder, and he's sitting back more than pushing forward, and that's why we're not seeing him in a lot of these plays.
Long throwing coming up here for the Riverhounds on the near side. Kerr will take it and direct traffic. And it's Herzog off the head of Fall. And Dos Santos, the powerful header, too much for Garzi. And another throw-in coming up here for the visitors. Okai. Loose ball picked up by Garzi, knocked forward now. Campbell with a header. Hunt. Walesky steps in front of him. Garzi's tripped up by Aguilar. Be a restart coming up for the Rhinos, who will be on the road for 3 before returning home Saturday, September 10th. New York Red Bulls 2, who picked up a 1-0 win against Louisville last night. Took sole possession of first place in the Eastern Conference with 50 points and secured themselves a spot in the playoffs for 2016. It was a Brandon Allen PK that was the difference. Both those teams came in with 47 points last evening. On the far side, the referee was going to wait to see if there was advantage, but Michael Green went down. And referee waiting and finally making the call. As we're in the 35th minute. There's 2 balls on the field right now.
Looked like the Riverhounds wanted a quick restart, but the Rhinos they had the ball on the field already.
Pastelopoulos gets a touch on it. It's picked up by Maloto. Herzog. Garzi, oh, good turn to get away from pressure. Nice touch from Garzi, the captain, to Forbes. Still Canardo Forbes. Lays it off for Apostolopoulos. Tergou. Forbes. Camden has to backtrack and pick it up. Now Forbes seeing more of the ball as we move in to the later stages of half number 1. Farrell to James. Garzi. Picked up by Hollingsworth. Loose ball. Canardo Forbes. Tergou. Good ball outside for Garzi. Takes a touch. Quick low cross. Voleski settles back to the goal. Forbes with the shot deflected wide.
Yeah, it was great ball movement by the Rhinos. I mean, from one side of the field to the next. And I mean, again, and the way they're playing the ball not into the air, but they're playing at the feet to each player, and that's why we end up with that, to have a shot like that, just playing right to feet. Unfortunately, Forbes just kind of hit it too much with the outside of the foot, and that's why the ball went wide.
Earl's got a piece of it en route to the goal. Garzi got up with a bit of a hobble. Looks like it's his groin. We'll see if that's going to hamper him as he gets this one back to James. Into the box. Headed straight up in the air. Stefan is there. Yeah, Garzi's still hobbling.
Friday,
run this off.
At 5 p.m. Don't miss the Tap It Forward Festival at the Genesee Brew House.
Distribution to Hollingsworth.
In the High Falls District. Join us for a community beer festival celebrating the Rochester brewing community. Tickets
To
are
Earl's.
available now for only $10.
Garzi made a gesture towards the sideline. Possibly, I think he said something about make a change at halftime.
Yeah, he probably tweaked something, maybe his groin or hamstring or something. It seemed like he tweaked a little bit.
He's going to try and push it through the next 7 or 8 minutes. James will clear it. Dos Santos will bring it down to Garzi. James, tough pressure to work with, gets away from both. Hunt. Pressured by Voleski, picked up by Garzi. Garzi driving into the 18, still Garzi. For Tergou. Shot is right at the keeper, didn't get enough juice or accuracy away from the keeper.
No, he did. I mean, Garzi did such a great job by making a great penetration. Tergou was just trying to slot him, but I think he should have actually take a harder shot because the keeper had came out and closed the angle down. So at that point, just place it, but place it with some power into one of the corners.
Here's Kerr. Maloto. Okai. Maloto looking for a little connection there with Herzog. Wanted a call, not going to get it.
Yeah, the Riverhounds had some great combination. I mean, like 4, 5, 6 passes there. And they were looking for a foul because they think that it was an obstruction happening in there. But the keeper was right in the mix. And again, that right there from Aguilar is actually that's a retaliation play there because he thought he should have gotten that call earlier. And he just lucky he didn't even get a yellow card from retaliating like this.
And I don't think Rochester is going to wait to make that substitution. Looks like Garzi, I assume, will be the one coming off for Reilly, who is warming up right now and getting ready to check in.
Fans, be sure to pick up your Bill Gray's Family 4-pack available for each Rhinos
Start to the
home
far
game.
side for Camden.
4 tickets, 4 cheeseburgers, 4 fries, 4 drinks, just $65.
Tergou.
To order, contact the Rhinos box office at
Farrell.
454-KICK.
And after Garzi had that initial tweak, he had a couple good runs, though.
Yeah,
Looked like he was going to work through it.
Yeah, he sure did. I thought he was going to work through it too, but I think apparently the coach told him to make up his decision to pick him out. I mean, remember he's just coming back from an injury also, so the coach probably just gonna keep an eye on him, and if he's calling for the sub, that means he probably need that sub.
Here's Voleski to Garzi. Back across for Dos Santos, picked up by Tergou. Tergou shot, what a goal! Puts it home and no chance for Stefan, his second of the game.
I mean, that was such. I mean, I think if he had done that on the one that he got just before, he would have 3 goals. He had a hat trick by now. But again, this one, what was different about what he just did is that he settled, he looked, and he found the corner that he wanted to go to. Beautiful goal, beautiful goal. I mean, playing the way he's playing on the weak side, not sure why the Riverhounds is letting these weak sides so open. If you can recover from those weak sides, don't play that weak side that weak, so to speak. Let somebody leave somebody out that can close down that area. If Tergou keep playing like that and keep getting those balls, he can get at least 4 goals tonight.
Absolutely. That has been a glaring weakness for the Pittsburgh defense. And Tergou's made him pay in the 8th and now the 40th minute. His second of the season, second of the game. That was in the 40th minute, and that was a beauty. They're going to say unassisted on that goal, as it was Garzi who made that initial push into the box. And Garzi is the player who comes off in the 41st minute. Sean Reilly, his 7th appearance of the season, coming on for Mike Garzi, who appears to have a groin injury. As you look at the substitute, Reilly, the 25-year-old out of Bryant University. 2-0 Rhinos lead in the 42nd minute. It's been Tergou creeping in from that far flank and finding the back of the net. Pittsburgh, no answer for that just yet. As Darryl said, it could be 3-4 goals tonight if that continues.
Yes, definitely. I mean, as I said, he actually had 2 other great opportunities that he missed it. And again, if he keep on playing like that, he can have I said at least a hat trick, but he can have 4 goals just because the way he's running and utilizing that weak side.
That was side netting, beautifully placed from Tergou, and that got the fans up and off their feet here at Rhino Stadium. Aguilar was followed by Fall, and the Riverhounds in the 43rd minute will go short to Green. Drives one, and Gomez was going the wrong way. That could have been in the back of the net easily.
That could have been a dangerous situation there. Gomez was going to his right, and the ball was like to his left. I mean, I'm not sure why he went to his right, or maybe he see the ball in flight going one way, and the ball change direction and flight going there.
May have been deflected. Looks like there was some conversation between Apostolopoulos and Gomez, but the Rhinos dodge one there.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe the ball was deflected there.
Maloto trying to spin away, but Camden does a good job to shield him off, and it'll be a throw-in coming up for the Riverhounds. Rochester on home turf, 7-2-3. We're going to get those valuable points as I'm going to jump away and get a bit of a cushion on Orlando City, who are 6 points behind them currently in the USL's Eastern Conference. At this stage, Orlando holding the 8th and final spot in the playoff positioning for the East. Rochester 1 point behind Charleston and 3 behind Richmond and Charlotte. And flag is up for offside. 44th minute, if you're just tuning in, the Rhinos have a 2-0 lead. Sofian Tergou has both of them this evening in the 8th minute on a header, and then just minutes ago, a beautifully placed shot as he swerved it out and around the keeper into the side netting. No chance for Stefan. And a classy finish from Tergou. Oleski gets the header, looking for Farrell. It's Hollingsworth to get there first. Forbes. Dos Santos. James. Rhinos looking for one more before the halftime whistle. And they'll get a good chance on a corner kick, their 5th one of the half. And it'll come up now on the near side as Forbes pushing away Reilly. Says this one is mine.
Yeah, he's like, he's pushing him away, or he's saying like, just I had 2-0. Let's just, take our time getting this ball back into play here.
Reilly sticking around just in case they want to go with the short option. 1 minute of stoppage time here in half number one.
1 minute of stoppage time.
Farrell. It's Waleski, goes for the shot, doesn't get all of it. James puts it there, and no one for Rochester. Herzog. Okai. Riverhounds trying to break out Aguilar. Good block there from Camden, the 22-year-old.
It's a great defense by Camden there. But again, Riverhounds, they had a great opportunity just now to really make a run at goal at Rhinos goals on that breakaway. I mean, they actually slowed that play down to make the Rhinos recover on that. In a situation like that, if you have three guys up on your offense, go at it, go at goal. I mean, push the ball and let it have a run at it. But I guess they slowed it down and Rhinos recovered.
And ball called on Earls. As we're in first half stoppage time, the Rhinos 8 shots to 5 for the Riverhounds. And a comfortable 2-0 lead. And as you know in soccer, that's a tough one to hold on to.
It sure is a tough one to hold on to.
Waleski comes in to win it back for the Rhinos. Couldn't get enough pace on it for Reilly, and that'll bring Juan Colazo to half number one's conclusion with the Rhinos leading it 2-0. And you said it, that first half by Tergou with the space he's been given coming in unmarked. First change of the match for Dave Brandt. And Pittsburgh, who will kick off, and they'll attack from left to right. And boy, Darryl, that was a quick halftime, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'm not sure because we were waiting so long for the game to start because of the rain. That's why it seemed to go by so fast. But again, for this second half, I'm not expecting to see anything different. As a matter of fact, I'm expecting the Rhinos maybe to score a couple more goals in the second half, just by playing the way they played in the first half.
If they continue that pace, it'll be the sweep of the season series against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And a good little bump up in the standings with 3 more points. As it's Fall. Tergou wanted it on the ground. Fall went a little high and heavy with that one. And it'll be put back into play with the Riverhounds throw-in. Green. Martinez, his first touch to Maloto. Now Herzog. Looking to get his second 5-game goal-scoring streak. He's on 4 right now. Forbes. Where's the captain's armband now with Garzi, who had gone out in the 41st minute? There's James, who's been active and good all night long. Out of Canardo Forbes. Fall. Farrell. Canardo Forbes. Oh, what a good ball. Reilly on the end of it. Oh, and a heavy touch there taken away by Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was a great ball by Canardo Ford. I mean, he does this so simple, like split and defenders, man. And the ball is, when he does it, I mean, it does it so simple that you don't even expect that to happen. But when you look, it's actually happening.
Another nice delivery from Forbes. This time it's Dos Santos. Nice back heel, overlapping is Tergou. Low cross. Knocked away by Campbell. Good step by Camden. Keep pressure in the Pittsburgh half. Christian Martinez. Apostolopoulos, like a freight train, was not going to lose that battle.
It was a great step by Apostolopoulos. I mean, he was coming. I mean, he anticipated that pass perfectly, and he just stepped right in the path of a pass.
Apostolopoulos, the 28-year-old, making his 16th appearance of the season. Now drives it up the middle for Dos Santos. And off of Tergou. Throwing coming up here for the Riverhounds. We're in the 48th minute. It's the third and final meeting of the regular season between Rochester and Pittsburgh. I'm Joe Giuliano, along with Darryl Stewart, who did take part in the mascot game at halftime. Did you score as Batman?
Oh, I did. Didn't you see me out
No, I saw Superman score.
Oh, That was me out there in the Superman. I thought it was going to be Batman, but I decided to be Superman.
Oh, I'm being corrected. Batman did score twice. I apologize. Thanks to our producer, Dennis. Congratulations.
Oh, every time I take the picture, I got to make something happen.
Whether you're dressed as a rhino or a superhero, it doesn't matter. There's Tergou, dangerous ball that fall, and the Rhinos have to hustle to keep possession. Forbes. Oh, good play by Campbell, and a good idea from Forbes to Valesky.
Yeah, Campbell had to stretch. He extend himself just to get a foot on that ball.
Forbes has to be fun to play with as a striker. He feeds you like that.
Yes, players like that I would love to play with, because all you have to do is put yourself in a position for the ball. Just put yourself in a space, in an angle, and you're going to receive that ball because he's going to put it there for you.
Starting to get a feel for this one in the second half, Canardo Forbes. Hollingsworth. Maloto. Martinez. Back to Maloto. Laid off for Earls. Now Maloto looking for Martinez. Gomez will get there first.
Again, and there, this is a great example of the defense that the Rhinos has. You can play that ball across the field and the top of the box, but to penetrate is what the other teams need to develop some sort of a strategy to penetrate into deep into the attacking third or the defensive third, I should say, of the Rhinos.
This one up and over everybody. Stefan will pick it up. For the Rhinos, in their last 11 games played, they're 4-1-6. 5 consecutive draws on the road. Looking to get some of those ties into 3-point victories. And this is going to be an interesting call. It is off of Green. Gets away from Fall. There's Martinez. Aguilar to Martinez. Back in the middle. Forbes gets there in front of Aguilar. For Pittsburgh, Martinez only his 3rd appearance of the season. Aguilar his 6th. These are some quality players that will definitely help if they stick around here with the Riverhounds the rest of the season and into next year.
Yeah, they do have some good quality players. It's just a matter of time before, and they have a young team also. Just a matter of time before they kind of put it all together.
Obviously, Martinez, the international from Panama, has been called up to the full national side twice, looking to stick with the MLS side. But for now, it's a loan spell with the Riverhounds. There's Maloto, a 26-year-old from South Africa. Gets it to Earls from Wicklow Town in the Republic of Ireland. Running down on the far side is Hollingsworth, and his service easily taken away by Apostolopoulos. Reilly having a tough go of it, gets knocked off the ball.
Yeah, I think Reilly now have to really settle down a little bit. I think he's playing real anxious. Just have to settle down, let the game comes to him.
Camden and Martinez battle for it. Martinez comes away with it, and he's shoved from behind. And a restart here. Camden standing over Martinez. This might not be good if he doesn't walk away.
Yeah, Camden just got to be smart here. He actually fouled him here, so he just got to be smart and just walked away from this one. I guess Camden probably think that he get fouled first, and he just retaliated here.
And good to see Wall come in and just kind of settle things down, move him away, make sure nothing unnecessary happens or a foolish yellow card is picked up.
Right, that's a sign of great teammates, and some another teammate recognizing what's going on, and before he get a card, just to pull him away from the situation.
There's Earls into the box, headed by Fall, and the far end line corner kick coming up for the Riverhounds. Kind of like you and I after a game. I've got to kind of pull you away from going up to the officials and, just make sure nothing happens.
Yeah, that's what teammates does. Teammates, look out for each other and recognize situations where he's going to get himself in some trouble and kind of run him away from that situation.
I'm there for you, my man. And speaking of situations, the Rhinos looking to counter, but it's Green who gets the header back to Stefan.
Soccer fans to hear
Here's Green
news from the Rhinos
with some
along
space
with
on the near side. Plays it
coaches,
central for
as
Moloto.
well as news on soccer. Be sure to tune into Soccer is a Kick in the Grass.
Moloto's service is off the side of his foot. And throwing coming up here for the Rhinos. Moloto played in the PDL with Des Moines back in 2010 through 2012 for former Rhinos coach Laurie Calloway. Lopeless off the chest of Green. Green who trained with the Columbus Crew in his younger years before sticking with Pittsburgh starting in 2012. Hunt will leave it there for Stefan. Pittsburgh next week, our next game will be at Wilmington on Wednesday. Hammerheads with 24 points. And we talked about this last week. They'll go dormant, apparently, next season as they look for a larger market. And rumor is Baltimore could be the next home for the Wilmington Hammerheads. There's James and the Rhinos in the 55th minute with a 2-0 lead. Farrell to Apostolopoulos. Camden. Gilavogi and Miller warming up for Bob Lilly's side. Good long ball from Fall. It's Reilly on the end of it. Battles with Hollingsworth. Good work from Reilly. Fall. Forbes tees one up. Great save from Stefan on a rocket from Canardo Forbes.
I tell you, that guy, I mean, he's slightest opening, he can pass it, he can shoot it. He has a great shot in him. I mean, he sees it, no one is challenging him. He sees the space and he, say, let me try this, let me try a shot on goal. And almost, it was a great save that the keeper had to make to keep that out of the back of the net.
Great job all around there, the shot and the save. A deep cross into the box, and Stefan at that back post has to be aware. Poor distribution. Reilly, quick shot, finds the back of the net. He makes the Riverhounds pay on a terrible distribution. And Reilly has got his first goal as a Rochester Rhino.
I just said Reilly got to settle down and let the game come to him. I tell you, he definitely did settle down and let that one kick come to him. I mean, what a poor distribution from the Riverhound goalkeeper. I mean, he picked up the ball, made such a great save, and just basically rolled it. It's like a spot shot. It's like, here you go, have this one. I'm not sure what he saw in that situation there, because everybody was basically, his whole team defense was actually backwards turned, running away from him. And he picked it up and rolled it right to the to Reilly, right, and to make that sort of beautiful shot. I mean, he buried it. He looked up, saw him off his line, and buried it.
Congratulations to Reilly, his first goal, and he makes Stefan pay for a horrendous roll out of the back, and it's 3-0 Rochester. Tergou with 2, Reilly with 1. A night of firsts for Rochester.
Yeah, I mean, I know the coach on the sideline is probably like boiling right now. He's probably so livid right now because of that. I mean, if you're gonna lose, you're gonna let the team beat you. Let them beat you. Don't give it to them and let them, say have it. I mean, let them play and let them beat you. I mean, that one was just, I'm not sure what he was thinking. Yeah, I know he's probably feeling, real bad after that situation because he just made such a great save from that cross coming over. And then turn around and make such a fatal error.
What a gift for Reilly. And again, Stefan on loan from the Columbus Crew, and the higher-ups, I'm sure, looking down and maybe a little shake of their heads after that one. Change made in the 58th minute. Nick Thompson has come on for Alejandro Aguilar. Second change of the game for the Riverhounds. Voleski's into the box. Pushed down from behind. Loose ball picked up for Tergou. Looking for Forbes. Battles with Kerr on the far side. Now, James. Back to Farrell. Hunt gets the header on it. Knocked away off of Reilly, and it'll be a throw-in for the Riverhounds. Get into the game through the USL's social media channels. Follow the USL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for news, live game updates, and video highlights from across the league.
I'm hoping the Riverhounds continue playing, try to don't put their head down because of that situation. At least give the Rhinos a game, so to speak. Even though they're down 3-0. Not just give up on this one, because I know after a goal like that again, it's really tough as a player. Being a field player, knowing after a goal like that, such an error like that, when you're really fighting back, to give up an open net like that, it's hard.
Throwing on the near side for the Riverhounds. With that third goal in the 57th minute, Rochester's equaled their highest offensive output of the season. They had a 3-goal game on May 6th against Charleston, a 3-2 win. And then Saturday, July 16th, a 3-1 win against Montreal. And Rochester, with 30-plus minutes to go, looking to get 1 or 2 better than that. There's Voleski on the sprint. Broken up there by Hunt. Maloto. Kerr. Outside for Hollingsworth. Herzog. Thompson. Spinning away, Forbes. Apostolopoulos. Tergou. Farrell. Good touches from the Rhinos. Fall gets away from Earls. Outside for Dos Santos. Revving up the engine is Dos Santos. And Maloto comes in to knock it away. Earls. Now Maloto. This will stay in play for Green. They'll track it down on the near side. Central. Herzog back to Martinez. Hollingsworth. 62nd minute. 3-0 Rhinos lead. Pittsburgh looking for a seam, any sort of opening. They'll keep the possession, but it's far away from the Rhinos' goal. Kerr to Hollingsworth, trying to cut it inside, penetrating, and he's tripped up. And he'll win a good free kick opportunity here for the Riverhounds. It was Farrell on the foul.
Yeah, this is one of the first time that you see the Riverhounds try to penetrate. I mean, instead of going from side to side, they actually try to penetrate. And again, the Rhinos, from that penetration, the Rhinos is closing down very quickly. Just unfortunate that Apostolopoulos was a little late getting on that challenge.
It's Kerr over the ball, along with Earls. Rhinos wall about 4 yards into the 18.
And I must say,
whistle.
Sorry, I must say for
punched away by Gomez.
I must say for the Riverhounds, Earl has been a workhorse for them tonight.
That is typical Danny Earls. Very good player, good man as well. Dos Santos gets it forward. Going to work into the 18. Double team, still trying to keep possession. It's it back to James. Getting back to Earls, he sat in that same seat you're sitting in. Worked as a color commentator for a season when we were calling the indoor game for the Rochester Lancers. He was injured.
Good man.
Did a great job on the pitch and in the booth, just like yourself. Apostolopoulos. The muggy air is starting to move in here. The rain has stopped. Fall leaves it for Tergou. That's picked up by Stefan and the Riverhounds. Rochester has 3 on the road.
Okay,
Cincinnati, Wilmington, and then Charleston. 2 out of the 3 very tough. Wilmington also no easy task.
Yeah, I mean these 3 upcoming road games for the Rhinos. I mean they gotta. I mean at home you got to take care of home. I got to get at least that win, that W at home to get that 3 points. On the road, I mean sometimes it's difficult to play on the road. So again, that's why it's good to take care of home, go on the road, and you know if not for nothing else, at least come away with a point on the road. I mean the Rhinos need to do that for those 3 upcoming road games to really stay in contention for that playoff spot.
And there was the opportunity for 5 straight draws for the Rhinos to pick up points, and they've done that away from home. There's Reilly to Voleski. Now Tergou. Fall. Pressure coming from Thompson. Outside for Farrell. Good rotation of the ball by the Rhinos. Forbes just a little step. Finds space for Camden now. Into the box. Back end looking for Dos Santos. Picked up by Hollingsworth. Sent downfield for Herzog. James gets the header to Apostolopoulos. Tergou. Dos Santos, quick cross into the box. Knocked away by Hunt. Given away, though, to Dos Santos. Voleski. Forbes, oh, a little too much pace on it. He wanted to pull the trigger right away.
Yeah, he did. I mean, the Rhinos now begin to settle down and really passing the ball, possessing the ball side to side and playing to feet.
Out of play, and this will give the Rhinos a chance to make their second substitution of the game. In the 67th minute, Dominic Samuel will come on, make his 21st appearance of the season, and he'll replace Bradley Camden, who had a good game tonight. A very active performance from Mr. Camden.
Fans, don't forget individual tickets for all 2016 Rochester Rhino home games are on sale.
Samuel, Camden will shift, or James, I'm sorry, will shift James onto the left side and Dominic Samuel onto the right.
Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Saturdays, 10 till 2.
Stefan gets it back into play. Farrell, good timing on the header. It's picked up by Martinez and the Riverhounds. Here's Malotto. Green avoids the challenge, finds Earls. 68th minute, 3-0, the Rhinos in control here. The scoreline looking to be the same as the season series between these two, in favor of Rochester. Malotto. Martinez to Earls. Outside to Hollingsworth. Cuts around Reilly. Back to Earls. Pittsburgh will keep the ball, but no pressure for Gomez and the Rhinos defensively. It's going to take something special. Maybe an individual effort to crack through.
Yes, I definitely. I think that's what it's going to take right now is an individual effort to get through, or having either a midfield, defensive midfielder, or even one of the defense make some sort of run through to get a through ball, to create some offense, because just moving the ball side to side in their middle third of the field, it's not gonna work. I mean, the Rhino has defense is too good for them to just knock them side to side. They're just waiting until and pick their just deep possess them and take that ball away and counter attack.
Hats off to Bob Lilly. That was a tremendous job on the defensive side of the game, and also packaging it with 3 goals tonight to entertain the fans. Another defensive stand from James and the Rhinos. Tergou comes in, wins it back to Volesky. Dos Santos gets away from Earls. Dos Santos driving at the defense. Still Dos Santos. Forbes quickly outside for Samuel. His first touch after coming on 2 minutes ago. There's James. Tergou to Fall.
The Rhino is just possessing the ball now, and it's waiting for the opportunity to go at goal.
Farrell in a battle with Campbell. Green knocks it away, but it's Fall, and the Rhinos to pick it up with space and time. Forbes checking back, receives it. Farrell knocked off of Herzog.
I mean, right now the Rhinos like really settling down and possessing the ball, really possessing the ball, making clean, crisp passes. I mean, guys are moving into open spaces and using those angles well to possess to take control of the ball. And that's the difference between when the Rhinos offensively versus the Riverhounds. The Rhinos offensive, they'll move the ball, but they're moving it in such a way that they're going forward with the ball when they're moving the ball. The Riverhounds, on the other hand, when they're moving the ball, is going from side to side and not really penetrating.
Good point, very noticeable. As Drew Russell will be coming on for the 3rd substitution momentarily for Dave Brandt's Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Here's Green on the near side. Martinez. Gets tripped up. No call. Play on. Sent down the near side, and Campbell will leave it there for Stefan. Martinez checking back to receive the ball. Headed away by James. Off of Green, and this will give the Riverhounds a chance to make their 3rd change in the 72nd minute. The man who touched the ball last, Michael Green, is off. Replaced by Russell, the 25-year-old, makes his 15th appearance of the season. 1 assist on the year.
Replacing number 8, Michael Green. Substitution in the 72nd minute.
Herzog goes in for a hard slide, but it's driven right at Volesky, and James now comes in. Back to Volesky. Tight space here, and Tergou's going to try to relieve the pressure by going to Farrell.
Yeah, real tight space of soccer just now. I mean, at that point, it's like it's any one ball to possess right there.
Samuel back to Forbes, quick touch forward. Headed down by Campbell. Onto the near side, Moloto. Outside for Hollingsworth. Back onto the near side for Russell. Just coming on for Green. Swerving ball, a good one through the mix, and nobody able to get a piece of it. Good ball for the substitute.
That was a great ball from the substitute. I mean, that ball was curving in from the right side of the field. I mean, it seemed like if all he needs is just a deflection, and that ball would have probably went into the goal. That was like one of the best opportunities in this half for the Riverhounds.
Absolutely. 74th minute. Good ball from Russell. Nobody there on the end of it. Russell gets it to Maloto. Right behind him and picked up by Fall. Dos Santos. Reilly. Taken off the ball by Earls. Kerr to Herzog. Herzog, 9 goals, 4 assists on the season. Knock on wood, has been held in check so far tonight.
Yes, it definitely been held in check. I mean, again, the Rhinos, had the game plan for him just to keep him in check, and they did a great they have done a great job and still doing a great job on keeping him in check.
Maloto. Taken away by James. He's tripped up. Free kick coming up for the Rhinos. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. Gomez will take this one. The Rhinos getting ready to make 2 substitutions. As Gomez will prop this one up. Drives one down the middle of the field. Back into the penalty box of Steffen. Header won by Farrell. Over the head of Earls. It's Dos Santos. For Tergou, the man with 2 goals this evening. Still Tergou, outside for Reilly. And Hollingsworth gets the slide in to knock it out of play.
That was a great play by Hollingsworth. I mean, that's the only thing he could have done to depossess the Rhinos from that possession there, or else it would have been an opportunity on goal.
76th minute, the Rhinos are going to make a double substitution. Andre Fortune will come on for Canardo Forbes. And also now making his debut, it'll be Gausu Bakayoko. He'll just go by Gausu. He'll come on for Dos Santos. So Fortune, the 20-year-old, will replace Canardo Forbes, which should get a nice round of applause for another good evening of soccer, while Gausu will make his debut, and he'll replace Dos Santos. Gausu from the Ivory Coast, a very physical presence in the midfield. Bob Lilly was quoted as saying he's a good passer, but even better as a ball winner. He has played with Dos Santos before, and that's the man he's going to replace in the 76th minute as they hug at midfield. And Gausu will make his debut as a Rochester Rhino.
This is a great game for him, a new player, a new fresh player, to make his debut. So, I mean, for the coach to see him, I mean, it's not a tight, pressured game. I mean, it's more a relaxed game for the Rhinos. So it's just a great opportunity for him to get into the game.
Good flow so far for the Rhinos here in the 77th minute. A convincing 3-0 lead. Apostolopoulos to James. To Apostolopoulos. Over Fortune's head. Flicked on by Martinez. Herzog. And just nowhere to go as James will clear it out of play. Russell. Campbell. We'll switch it over to the far side. Kerr to Hollingsworth. Picked up by Gausu. His first touch as a Rhino, a little too heavy there for Reilly. It'll Be a throw in for the Riverhounds. Will make another substitution. And it'll be one half of the other half of the Thompson connection. Jack Thompson was the brother of Nick Thompson, who came on in the 58th minute. Will be checking in for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. There's Moloto. Herzog looking for Nick Thompson. Battling with James. James wins the battle. Picked up by Pittsburgh once again. Far side. Kerr off the chest into the box. Good hustle from Dominic Samuel.
That was a great ball into the box, and Dominic Samuel misjudged the flight of the ball, and he recovered pretty well to get back in position to clear that ball.
Fifth and final substitution in the 79th minute. Jack Thompson, as we had mentioned, coming on for Lebo Moloto. Jack Thompson, the 23-year-old, makes his 11th appearance of the season to go along with one assist. Rhinos still have 2 substitutions. We'll check that. We're going to switch these guys back for a second. As Fortune. Oh, Daryl, what did I do here, my friend? Fortune is a Rhino. Gausu is a Rhino. Russell is a Pittsburgh substitution. So Rochester does have another chance to make a change and bring on Gilavogi if they'd like. As it's Gausu who gets knocked off the ball by Russell. And in the 80th minute, Rochester has brought on Fortune, Samuel, and Gausu up to this point. Fall. Drives one into the box, looking for Voleski, headed up in the air. And away by Campbell. Still up in the air, brought down by Fall. Picked up by Kevin Kerr. Handball against Wall Fall.
Fans, remember to save the date. This year's 29th annual Golisano Children's Hospital
Restart outside the Hollingsworth.
Will take place on October 22nd
Thompson.
at the Riverside Convention Center. For more information, visit
foul called as
gcas.org.
Thompson's brother goes down. Jack looking for Nick there.
The brotherly connection.
Yeah. Disrupted by the foul. Again, Pittsburgh yet to take back-to-back victories this season. They won 2-1 against Bethlehem last Saturday. They'll need a miracle here as Gomez comes in hard, taking out anything in his path. And the trainer immediately called on to head into the Rhinos box.
Yeah, I don't think Gomez.
Willie Hunt again, who took a hard knock to the head. And he's down and slow to get up again.
He looked like he's up. The trainer's on the field. But I'm not even sure if Gomez actually get a touch on that ball. It looked like one of the Rhinos defenders actually had that ball out, but Gomez was right in position anyways to punch that ball out.
Trainer was called on, so Hunt is going to have to come off. 83rd minute, thrown on the far side for Pittsburgh. Into the box, flick down. Still a loose ball. Gausu will clear it away. Hunt back onto the field. Michel Gilavogi will be coming on momentarily for the Rhinos to make his 9th appearance of the season. Fortune quickly clears it to midfield. Hollingsworth takes a touch, gives it some pace as well. Stood up there by Reilly. His quick clearance is to no one.
Yeah, I think Reilly's a little shaken up there. I think that the Pittsburgh player actually run into him. Probably got to get a knee to knee there, and he's a little bit hobbly.
This will be a throw-in, and the Rhinos will make another substitution in the 80th minute, or I'm sorry, 84th minute. It's Gilavogi coming on for Tergou, who has 2 goals on the evening, and he gets a nice round of applause. Sofian Tergou in the 8th and the 40th minute, finding the back of the net for the Rhinos.
Yeah, the fans are showing their appreciation for what he did tonight, which is very well deserved. He played a great game, played a smart game by playing on the weak side. Got 2 goals, could have got more, but he did well. He did his part tonight.
Now that is the 5th and final substitution for the Rhinos. They brought on Gilavogi, Fortune, Reilly, Dominic Samuel, and Gausu. Played back, Stefan. Farrell, nice header forward for Reilly. Back to Samuel. Picked up Gausu. James. Looking for Reilly. Flag is up for offside.
Reilly's making some great runs. Not sure if he's what position. Maybe Gilavogi's playing his position now, and he switched over to the other side. But Reilly's he's settled down after that goal, and he's making some runs and some moves into the open spaces.
Campbell. Thompson for Russell. Kerr. Martinez. Nowhere to go. It's backwards for Pittsburgh. Side to Hollingsworth. Checking back is Herzog. That's their 9-goal scorer in his own half of the field trying to receive the ball. That speaks volumes.
That's a huge volume because now he's getting a little bit frustrated. Now he's coming way back out of his position to receive the ball. I mean, he's the goal scorer. He's the guy who's is putting goals in the back of the net for them, and now he's coming halfway behind in his own half to receive the ball. I mean, that's actually, you're right, speaking volumes for what the Rhinos is doing defensively.
Absolutely. Herzog held in check after coming in, scoring in the last 4 games, but still a few minutes to go here. Campbell will head it back to Stefan, whose blunder in the 57th minute gave Reilly the opportunity, and he took full advantage of it to get Rochester's 3rd goal. There's Gilavogi. Still Gilavogi. Worked off the ball by Thompson. Gets it to Earls. Martinez. Danny Earls. Ball's given away to James. 87th minute. Reilly. The only goal of the half to give Rochester the 3-0 lead. Here's Farrell. Wall fall. Gausu. Reilly wide open will get the ball on the near side. Takes a touch. Still with it. And out of play. Throwing coming up here for the Riverhounds. Pittsburgh last season 11-9-8. They lost to New York Red Bulls 2 in the first round of the playoffs in extra time. For the Rhinos, everyone knows the story of last season, the USL champions. Only 15 goals against all season long, a 19-game unbeaten streak, and a record of 17-1-10, winning the championship against LA Galaxy 2.
I mean, that was a great season last year, but in this league, it's tough to repeat or to duplicate things that you did on the previous season, because I mean they have so many great players, so many great teams in the league. So it's hard to duplicate what you did. You just wanted to just to come a little bit close to what you did last season, and you may have the chance of winning another championship.
If you can come a little close to a 17-1-10 season, I think you'll be okay.
Definitely.
And I've been involved with these broadcasts since '97, and I don't recall a season that dominant. This one is trickled in, and Gomez maybe got a piece of it to go off the crossbar.
Yeah, Gomez actually touched it a little bit. I mean, he misjudged the fly of the ball. I'm not sure if it was actually a shot on goal or was a cross, but the ball came over and he was coming out into his 6-yard box, and the ball was behind him, and he just basically get a finger on that one and put it wide.
Foul was called on the far side, and the Riverhounds will pick up a restart. Kerr over the ball in the 89th minute. Reynolds' wall is backed up. No white spray on the turf. Darryl carries that quite a bit in his car, but not here tonight. Ball's into the box, headed away by Fall.
Yeah, normally I'll give the ref a can of that spray, but he decided he didn't want one tonight.
He turned it down tonight? You got a trunk full of those cans, don't you?
I got to mark my space and my territory and my.
Can I borrow some of those to put my kids in timeout?
Yeah. Don't cross this line.
That's it.
This is it.
10 yards. 10 yards from your brother. 90th minute, the Rhinos with a 3-0 lead. This ball sent into the box. Flag comes up for offside. It was Thompson, the player deemed to be in behind the Rhinos defense. And as we look up at the video board, the next home game for Rochester after 3 on the road will be September the 10th, 5:05 kickoff. Mark your calendars. 5:05 kickoff, team photo giveaway night, as the Rhinos take on New York Red Bulls 2, and that one has a playoff atmosphere all over it.
Yeah, that definitely did. I mean, the Red Bulls right now is on the top of the table, and they, Red Bulls are a great team. Again, the Rhinos just need to, on this 3 home away game, just need to do well and come back at home and at least secure a win for that one back at home here.
And that'll be a big one. Red Bulls 2 and the Rhinos, they played to a 0-0 draw at New York on April 17th. And also July 2nd, 0-0. The whistle blows and a restart coming up here for the Riverhounds. John Woliak has done a tremendous job once again for Red Bulls 2. 3 minutes of stoppage time. As we're pecking away at that first of the 3 minutes called for. Pittsburgh looking for a late tally here. As Earls will whip one into the box. Headed away by Apostolopoulos. Vasily has been good tonight. Gilavogi. Fortune. And a little too much there for Gilavogi. Hollingsworth will get there first.
Yeah, Gilavogi was looking for that one, but again, it was. I know Gilavogi do have some wheels, but it looked like Hollingsworth have a little bit more speed than he does tonight.
He got there in no time. Rhinos are just minutes away from getting into double digits in the win column. 9-5-9. Pittsburgh has a long throw-in. Up and off the head of Russell. And a goal kick for Gomez. And be sure you keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about the USL. Gomez, as we've plugged away at 2 out of the 3 minutes of stoppage time, gets the goal kick up and over midfield. Gausu tried to head it backwards. It's picked up by Martinez. And he comes in with a hard tackle. He says, I got the ball. Referee says, nope.
Yeah, I mean, Gausu, he's looking to plead his case there for a minute, but referee said, no, I actually got you on that one.
Gilavogi fall. Fakes the back heel, keeps possession. Comes forward. Outside Gilavogi. Into the 18. Back onto his left. Still Gilavogi. Now Fortune. Gilavogi. Gausu. Whistle blows, and that'll bring this one to a close as Rochester gets 2 goals in the first half, 1 in the second, to now move into double digits in the win column with 10 on the season. And they wrap up the season series by sweeping the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. The score 3-0, the season series the same, 3-0 in favor of the Rhinos. Darryl, your thoughts on this one tonight?
I mean, the Rhinos played very well to win this game, to secure the W in this one, to get the 3 points in this game. I guess right now it's just a matter of building, keep on building and on what they're doing at home and away. Again, I keep stressing, to really secure their spot in the playoff, they have to take care of business at home. In other words, they have to get that 3 points at home. And on the road, if you can't get that win on the road, at least don't lose it. At least secure a point on the road, and I think that will take them forward and take them deep into securing a playoff spot.
Well, depending what Charleston does against Wilmington tonight, the Rhinos, and there's a bit of a log jam right now for that 4th position. Charlotte, Richmond, and Rochester all with 39 points, as Rochester will jump over Charleston, who have 37 points. But again, Charleston taking on Wilmington tonight. And now Rochester's 10-5-9.